Right at the top of the hour. Once again, this is News Tonight at 10. My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango. But first, let's look at the top stories.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Stories tonight. President Yoweri Museveni commissions Kira Motors as Uganda drives into industrial future. Uganda to mark World Tourism Day 2025 in Arua City. Uganda ends IFTM showcase with new partnerships and global recognition. And UCC launches Cyberstars Competition 2025.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
It's just a minute past 10 o'clock and news begins. Uganda has taken a bold step into the future of automotive manufacturing with the commissioning of the Kira Motors vehicle plant in Jinja. President Yoweri Museveni says the milestone is more than just building buses, but building confidence in integrating Uganda's economy from raw materials to finished products.
In what is proved to be the most advanced vehicle manufacturing facility on the African continent, Kira Motors Corporation has been officially unveiled. President Yoweri Museveni, flanked by government officials, scientists and engineers, commissioned the facility. It is a project, he says, will stride towards Uganda's economic independence.
So for the first time, the transport sector is beginning to be integrated with the industries of Uganda in the form of Kira vehicle plant. Now, once and then it will go into other sectors, because transport is one sector. Then you have education, you have tourism.
The president reminded the nation that Uganda spends over $900 million annually on steel imports and $800 million on vehicles. Such money, he says, must now be retained by processing local iron ore and manufacturing vehicles domestically.
So you can imagine, all the money we get from coffee goes back. So therefore, it is really a disaster to see what's happening in Africa. We find people are just talking about this, they don't talk about this huge hemorrhage. I've not heard anybody talking about it. The newspapers, this so-called media. What are you talking about? You don't talk about your future, how you can survive.
The Kira Motors journey started at Makerere University in 2011, when students and scientists unveiled Africa's first electric vehicle. 14 years later, with government backing and over 407 young Ugandan professionals on the factory floor, the dream has become reality.
We have worked with possible domestic suppliers to start the conversations on how we can start sourcing some of the materials and parts locally, and some of that is already happening. And we see that the future is not only green and bright, but the future is standing on promises that cannot fail, and we are going to work with you to protect these gains.
The plant will initially produce 2,500 vehicles annually, with plans to scale up to 10,000 units. This will be made possible with additional investment of $143 million US. Buses, SUVs, pickups and passenger cars will all be covered.
Today, we proudly received 3 buses from Kira Motors Corporation to support student transportation for field practicals and industrial training. Notably, Your Excellency, 1 bus has been specifically designed to accommodate students and staff with special needs, underscoring our shared commitment to inclusive education.
Beyond buses and cars, leaders say Kira Motors will unlock opportunities across value chains.
Regarding the future, I don't see any problem. That $143 million, we shall get it for sure, but we need to start on the lithium batteries. Because Mr. has told me that lithium battery takes about 60% of the cost of the vehicle. So in order to get all our money here, we must resolve the issue of the lithium batteries made here. I'm talking with a number of investors. They are coming, actually. They are coming in big numbers. We may not even have to use government money only.
The Kira Motors plant marks a turning point in Uganda's industrial journey. Leaders hope it will serve not only local needs, but also position Uganda as a regional hub for sustainable mobility solutions.
So if there's one thing that we have achieved, we have rebuilt our confidence. We are building the confidence not only of Ugandans in ourselves, but also Africans. Missing the 3 industrial revolutions made Africa lose their confidence in what they can do.
For a generation of young Ugandan engineers, the Kira Motors vehicle plant is not just a factory. It is a promise and a sign that Uganda's industrial future is no longer imported, but built at home. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Thank you very much there, Henry Okrut. Now over to Arua. People of West Nile have been asked to embrace the 2025 World Tourism Day with the aim of promoting economic development and, of course, growth for the sub-region through tourism. This year, the Ministry of Tourism, Welfare and Antiquities chose Arua City as the host for the 2025 World Tourism Day celebrations.
The leaders of West Nile say the sub-region has a lot of potential that the government should interest itself in and develop.
I want to say I'm privileged to host this day as a mayor and as the people of Arua City. This day is very significant for us because it has attracted very many visitors, and this has a very big bearing on the local economy of the city.
West Nile is a melting pot of culture in Uganda because as Uganda has many cultures, West Nile has over the 15 of these cultures. We have the Jai Reserve that is revamping up. We have the Bairo Falls. We have the Opi Island in Obongi district. We have Mountain Oche, which is 1,500 meters above sea level. We have the Lodonga Basilica. We have Mountain Wati in Terego. We have a lot that we can offer in West Nile. We have the only rainforest in northern side of the country, which is in Adjumani district. So this opportunity coming here is for us to showcase what we have and to welcome investors.
According to Deo Onyago, the Tourism Development Officer at the Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, the tourism potential that the West Nile sub-region has is so immense.
We are in Arua to celebrate the International World Tourism Day on the 27th of September. And today, in Arua City, we have a number of activities that are taking place in preparation and as part of the World Tourism Day. West Nile, as an area of 12 districts, has a very large potential. You know that Makshon Falls is just near Pakwach. We have the Ajai Reserve, and if you haven't known yet, the government is repopulating the Ajai with rhinos. So it is a program that is ongoing, and it is making the West Nile very attractive.
During the regional tourism conference held ahead of the World Tourism Day, Minister for Tourism Canon Tom Butime, tourism benefits should trickle down to the local population.
And we must embrace tourism, because tourism talks about the community, isn't it? You can't have tourism and the communities are not benefiting. So it is an industry, it's a sector that touches the communities, that provides transport, that gives transport, that business to the transport community, that brings tourists to the hotels, that even an Irish potato, isn't it, will be bought, that even a cup of milk will find a market.
Joseph Fodama, UBC News.
Now, relatedly, and in preparation for the World Tourism Day, Ugandans have been asked to embrace domestic tourism as a key driver towards achieving the country's ambitious $500 billion economic goal. Now, the call was made by the Executive Director of Uganda Tourism Board, UTB, Juliana Kagwa, as the country gears up to mark the World Tourism Day.
The tourism month.
Uganda is set to join the rest of the world to celebrate World Tourism Day, held every 27th day of September annually. As part of the celebrations, various activities have been ongoing.
This week alone, we've celebrated World Gorilla Day on the 24th. We kicked off the week with World Rhino Day, where we're in Ziwa, naming our rhinos.
In a bid to promote regional tourism through flying, Asante Aviation, in partnership with the Uganda Tourism Board, has flagged off a delegation to Arua ahead of World Tourism Day celebrations.
Go and test the services firsthand, and then they can see for themselves what you are going to give to the tourists.
I think transport, accessibility have been some of the barriers to our success in the tourism sector. And so now, not only are we opening up roadways, we are opening airways.
The Chief Executive Officer of Uganda Tourism Board, Juliana Kagwa, emphasized the need for Ugandans to embrace domestic tourism.
We don't have a choice. If indeed we believe that tourism will contribute 10% of our GDP by 2040, if we want $50 billion from the tourism sector, if we want middle income status, then we must start touring Uganda. And it starts this week. The parks are open, no excuse.
Ronald Kasozi, the Director of Asante Aviation, implored Ugandans to benchmark from other countries to utilize airways when it comes to domestic tourism.
We think through this conversation, we can apply aviation like the Kenyans do. We can have a tourist tour 3 national parks in a day, and it goes. So we're looking at new ways of promoting tourism.
However, Ugandans are skeptical when it comes to high tariffs related to domestic tourism, but UTB has allayed those fears.
Domestic tourism, we've been working on the cost of it and making it more accessible. So you realize that even the fees for the parks are considerably less for Ugandans and local citizens. But that said, it's about the laws of demand and supply. It's economics.
The World Tourism Day 2025 will be commemorated under the theme Tourism and Sustainable Transformation. Rebecca Nantongo, UBC News.
Thank you very much there, Rebecca Nantongo. Now looking at local government. Minister for Local Government Raphael Majezi has urged chief administrative officers to maintain stable personal relations with local government workers. He revealed that negotiations underway with the Ministry of Public Service and Local Workers Union are here to ensure salary increment.
There are 135 chief administrative officers, 10 city town clerks, 31 municipal town clerks, and 20 division town clerks.
They are the custodians of our funds, custodians of the land, custodians of the human resource, custodians of the buildings and all the assets, the vehicles. So
According to a notice received from local government workers' unions about laying down their tools, Minister Majezi says negotiations are underway with Ministry of Public Service to look into their issues.
These are the accounting officers, these are the heads of service. We're still negotiating between the Ministry of Public Service and the unions. Now, when you are still negotiating, you don't lay down your tools because local government service touches livelihood, touches drugs, touches education. We are talking of the biggest sector, potentially. So if the local government workers were to lay down their tools, then you would paralyze the services across the country, and I think this would not be the right thing.
Minister Majezi says among their requests, the one of vehicles for chairpersons has been addressed by the President.
The President gave us 35.2 billion in procured vehicles for all chairpersons of districts and municipal and city mayors, and we are ready to give them out between now and November. Now we shall do that, but with clear guidelines, because I'm aware this is a campaign period. These are not vehicles for campaign. These are vehicles for service delivery.
Instructions were highlighted in an effort to enhance service delivery, including availing reports every 15th day of the month on service delivery and disciplinary action taken against corrupt officials.
A separate report on disciplinary action, mainly corruption, but other omissions and commissions, that would be separate. I have also asked a report on all areas of facilities which have been constructed and are sitting on land which is not titled. We want this information. They must deal with the issues of local revenue, because we need local revenue to be able to supplement government transfers to finance service delivery. They must inspect service delivery points, namely health facilities.
Local government intends to schedule quarterly barazas to ensure citizens engage with implementing technical staff on prevailing issues. Cayenne Faith reporting.
Well, thank you very much, dear Faith. Now, with growth of Uganda's housing and real estate sector, concerns over the land ownership and housing affordability are on a rise. Uganda Real Estate and Housing Expo highlighted ways to achieve decent and affordable housing.
Advocate for the rights of those stakeholders in the real estate industry, then we have a common voice towards government.
The Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development emphasized key areas for improvement to address the housing deficit.
So one thing is that we're ensuring that people have security of tenure. After the security of tenure, of course, there is sensitization about land use and alternative use of land. Okay? To be able to coexist with the other users as well.
Judith Nabakova, the Minister for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, called for stronger collaboration to transform the country's housing sector.
As stakeholders in the housing and real estate sector, we must recognize that our strength is in collaboration. As we gather for these 3 crucial days, let us seize the moment to shape the Uganda's real estate and housing sector. Let us advance the conversation into practical, tangible solutions.
Real estate developers will also urge to properly implement and align their projects with government policies.
To put this challenge to real estate developers, government will put up policies, but policies are implemented by people, and it's us in this building. Real estate developers, we are the one actually to help government. Government brought a condominium law, but condos will not be taken up if they are not affordable. So we must work with at least what is available, but to design packages which are friendly, to make sure that people can use the packages.
The real estate industry is among the fastest growing sectors in the country, contributing 7.5% to national GDP. However, to achieve affordable and decent housing, consolidated policy framework from government was highlighted as key. Pauline Iso Ongoyen for UBC.
Now, youth in Uganda have been urged to be proactive in the fight against climate change and to dismiss utterances by those who claim that climate change is a hoax and that the shift to eco-friendly energy sources is a waste of time and resources. Let's see more from Dennis Sigor.
At the UN General Assembly, President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, dismissed climate change as the greatest con job ever perpetrated and a scam during his address.
Because if it goes higher or lower, whatever the hell happens, this climate change, it's the greatest con job ever perpetrated on the world, in my opinion. Climate change, no matter what happens, you're involved in that. No more global warming, no more global cooling. All of these predictions made by the United Nations and many others, often for bad reasons, were wrong.
Such remarks from a global leader remain highly controversial and risk watering down efforts by various organizations and activists championing climate resilience. They condemned the comments and called for more global support to strengthen the fight against climate change.
More and more politicians are doing work for mitigating all of this, but I know there's still some people that are skeptical or that are going against this, but they should just look at reality and look how the reality is and people moving because of disasters. Even in the US, there's been a lot of cyclones. In Italy, there's been a lot of flooding.
What happens when a farmer grows his crops, is expecting to yield, and because of the climate change, he cannot have the yields? Maybe the floods come and, or maybe it has not rained, his crops cannot grow. So climate change is actually more real than people think.
These observations were made during the Code for Climate hackathon hosted by Cavendish University and organized by the International Organization for Migration and Climate Skaters, Chitezi. The initiative seeks to actively engage young people in action through innovation and technology.
So the Code for Climate is all about climate change, displacement and resilience. We are seeing students showcase a lot of innovations, showcase their ideologies. And we are saying that we don't want to keep these ideologies in the classrooms. We want to transfer these solutions to the communities.
We had partners, collaborators coming in together to inspire us, to mentor us as we showcased different products and projects that students have done in climate action.
The reality, however, is already evident, with countries and economies around the world grappling with the consequences of rising global temperatures, prolonged droughts, and increased storm frequency, among other effects.
Climate change has been affecting everyone's lives, and it's becoming more and more severe. Especially for women and girls, the crisis is even worse. They walk longer distances for water, putting them at greater risk for violence. This crisis, it is not just about water. It impacts health, food security, livelihood, as my colleague said, and even peace.
Marion Awori, UBC.
And in the area of cybersecurity, Uganda Communications Commission, UCC, in collaboration with UGSAT, has officially launched the third edition of Cyber Stars Competition 2025. The Director of ICT and Research at UCC, Christine Mojimba, has said that the imitative aims to equip the younger generation with tools to face and mitigate modern cyber threats.
Uganda Communications Commission, together with UGSAT, have unveiled the Cyber Stars Competition 2025, a platform designed to offer learners hands-on experience in tackling real-world cyber challenges. The competition focuses on training participants in ethical hacking, data protection, and system security, allowing them to uncover hidden vulnerabilities through structured challenges.
A breach happens in an organization. Do you have the capacity to even tell where that breach is coming from, or what machine was compromised first? If it is a bank and it is compromised.
And behind that is Dicto, the Dicto technologies. So the transformation is being empowered by the Dicto technologies, communication and ICT. And that's why this becomes important, because when we arrive at our vision, we want to arrive when we're actually there.
Christine Mujimba, the Director of ICT and Research at Uganda Communications Commission, emphasized the Commission's commitment to nurturing cyber talent among the youth.
Work with you as our young people who are going to take the country forward, to position yourself in this cyberspace.
What the competition is helping us to do is to learn how these systems can be vulnerable, how can you better defend them, and how can an attacker, probably a hacker or probably malicious groups, how can they corrupt these systems and how can you defend them better as a person.
These competitions are preparing an army in terms of the cyber army that can provide security in terms of the information, the data.
The director of the Cyber Security Association of Uganda, Marvin Kashaija, asserts that as cyber threats continue to rise, the need to embrace cyber security training as a critical lifestyle in the digital age cannot be ignored.
So we thought that we could bring all the cyber stars under one roof and be able to skill them and train them so that they can be able to perform their duties. Many people who are out there who haven't joined the Association of Cyber Security Association of Uganda would need to come and really join the association. You can be able to access it on different social media platforms, csfo.org, and we also have a LinkedIn page and also Twitter page.
The competition will run from 26th to 24th October, with the grand finale taking place on October 28th, 2025. Participants will compete in various categories, including web exploitation, digital forensics, reverse engineering, cloud security, and more. Irene Faith Nantongo, UBC News.
Now, energy sector players have described geographical information systems as a cornerstone for aligning energy investments with national priorities. This was at the 11th Utilities GIS conference in Kampala, held under the theme Mapping Uganda's Energy Future, Smart Data, Smart Decisions.
This year's conference focused on scaling up data collection, harmonizing geospatial standards, and integrating local government input into national energy planning. Uganda's energy leaders underscored the crucial role of the geographical information systems in transforming Uganda's energy landscape.
GIS is basically a tool that is very critical for government in the sense that it helps us collect the data that we need in real time and helps us also to in prioritization. We started this in 2011, like you've already noted, and since then it has been growing from strength to strength.
GIS has become essential for planning, monitoring and managing Uganda's energy and utility assets. The energy sector relies on precise knowledge of resource locations, demand patterns and efficient connectivity.
It allows you to collect, be able to store this data, be able to visualize it on a map. So there are map-based systems that can be able to help people to make informed decisions in an interactive and easy-to-use interface as well.
Florence Nkalubo, chairperson of the Energy Sector GIS Working Group, recalled that the initiative was launched in 2011 to address scattered and inconsistent geospatial data. She highlighted how smart mapping has helped identify underserved communities, guided climate-resilient infrastructure, and supported rural electrification and agro-industrial growth.
As an investor, you get to know which areas you should invest in, which are ripe for your development, for your investment, and it helps you understand the markets around that area, if you are looking for land maybe for third-party industries of oil and gas, you know where to look for that land and the vicinity of what you want to locate and its proximity to those facilities. So GIS helps us understand all those things.
Her sentiments are echoed by Engineer Prataz Tibia Kinura, Chief Engineer and Technical Service Officer at UEDCL.
The distribution network, both that used to be under UED sales, operations and management, and the bigger part of the network that used to be managed by UMEME are all covered in a GIS system. The reports that we have prepared today, we have so far, for example, prepared the status of the distribution asset as it is. We have also developed, for example, now the investment plan for 5 years, but all those have been guided by the GIS system.
The GIS conference brought together planners, regulators, GIS specialists, oil and gas experts, and development partners to explore how smart data can drive Uganda's economy transition and the goal of universal electricity access by 2040.
Now, Uganda has wrapped up its participation in the international French travel IFTM top racer in Paris, France. Now, the three-day event, one of the largest in the global tourism, attracted millions of industry players. Uganda's delegation showcased the country's rich attractions under the campaign Explore Uganda, the Pearl of Africa.
The curtain has fallen on the IFTM Top Racer 2025 in Paris. For 3 days, the global tourism spotlight stood out on hundreds of destinations, airlines, hoteliers and investors. With a buzzing stall, Uganda stood proudly among them, exhibiting under the banner, Explore Uganda, the Pearl of Africa.
I came here and I'm proud to be associated with what has taken place here. We've had a lot of exposure and met a lot of people. Some of them were actually organized by the embassy for us to interact with, but then we also had people just walking to a table.
The primate capital boasts over 10 national parks and 4 wildlife reserves.
Uganda as a tour destination, we sell too much of the gorillas because it's one of the best products which other countries don't have.
From gorilla tracking in windy impenetrable forests and whitewater rafting on the river Nile to the aroma of Ugandan coffee and the warmth of culture, Uganda's exhibition was a mix of adventure, heritage and authentic experiences.
We are so ambitious and our expectation is big. It has also given us a new dimension of what to do. First of all, we have a lot of contacts that we must follow up with them. The beauty is it is business to business. So they also want to do business with us as much as we want to do business with them. That we must bring all this into reality. We also have to expect influx into Uganda because what has been lacking from this part of the world, let's say in Europe, France in particular, is the information about Uganda. And what I love about the French market is that they love tourism destinations that are organic, that are eco-friendly, and that is a bit unique, and Uganda offers that all.
At the official launch, Uganda was also recognized, a moment that drew attention to the country's growing stature as a prime African destination.
We are reliable and they can count on us.
Ambassador Mule also joined her peers at the African Ambassadors Conference in Paris, where she called for stronger collaboration among African countries in promoting the continent as a united tourism brand.
Back home also, government is doing everything possible to promote tourism or putting in place the necessary infrastructure, the roads, rehabilitation of the airport, rehabilitation of the hotel, and so on and so forth. So government is really fully committed to having tourism propel our economy forward.
Ugandan tour operators at the fair say they leave Paris more optimistic than ever.
I'm sure more and more French speaking clients are going to be coming to Uganda and experience our beauty.
They've been able to understand that the country has a lot to offer. We have the big five.
Uganda's participation comes as the tourism sector shows steady recovery. As IFTM Paris 2025 comes to a close, Uganda leaves with a stronger visibility, new partnerships and a commitment towards using tourism to drive growth. The Pearl of Africa has told its story and the world is now listening. I'm Edi Ulua, reporting for UBC News here in Paris, France.
Ebiseera by'okuzzaayo abaana mu masomero tebiteekwa kukaluubiriza n'akatono. Eno kusimba nnyiriri mpanvu kano kalipagano ka bidduka. Simanya kuzunga na banka siripsi. kati osobola okusasula school fees z'omwana wo ate n'okola n'ebirala ntoko ku ssimu ye ey'omu ngalo. Ekikola kyangu nnyo. Nyiga bunyizi *165*8 ogoberera ebikulagiriddwa oba okozese app ya MTN Momo. Ate kati okola ki olwaleero? MTN Mobile Money Uganda Limited erungamizibwa banka enkulu eya Uganda.
Every waking day is a reminder just how beautiful this, our land, truly is. The kind of beauty that you can only find here, in the lush green all around us and the wondrous sights within. It's in the distinct aroma of our cooking to the taste of food that takes you on a journey, in the sound of homecoming and the sound of Mother Earth. In the magnificence we find on our travels and the exciting moments we experience. Ours is the kind of beauty that comes in all things big and small. All we have to do is awaken our senses and truly enjoy what's uniquely ours. Explore Uganda, the pearl of Africa.
At UNOC, we believe in safety.
Dear NRM fraternity, I'm Dr. Rosemary Nansu Gaseninde, the National Mobilizer for NRM. I extend sincere appreciation to you all on behalf of His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the party presidential candidate, the NRM Secretariat, and on my own behalf for the love and support you exhibited when you turned up in big numbers at Kololo after the nomination of our beloved party candidate. Thank you so much indeed. I once again invite you to attend our maiden rally on 30th September in Ruwero. Remember to vote for President Museveni to protect our gains. Long live President Museveni. Long live NRM. God bless Uganda. God bless NRM. Dr. Rosemary Nansu Gaseninde, the National Mobilizer for the NRM Party.
Welcome back from that short break. As we continue, the Embassy of Japan to Uganda has granted Uganda Ministry of Health with second-hand ambulances worth 1,822 million Ugandan shillings. The grant assistance for grassroots recycle project is a scheme under the Japanese government that has been providing second-hand fire trucks and ambulances to support local communities.
Actually, we expect each these cities and local government will take good care and make a great use of these vehicles. And my colleague Nakano-san instructed me to say that local government expected to keep the fire engines and ambulances in good shape. He will inspect you in 2 years' time. The one is a second-hand car, but inside is already upgraded and ready to use for the local government. Only problem is that the vehicle speaks Japanese. So occasion like when you turn right, there is a warning sign, and but it says in Japanese, "Migi ni makarimasu." training right.
Vehicles are going to be deployed. They will be responsible, making sure that we take care of them, we service them, we use them properly to save lives. And so we pledge to continue working with you. I was blessed because I was with the Vice President when we were in Yokohama in last TICAD, and it was a great moment to see the commitment of the Japanese government to supporting countries like Uganda and other African countries. So we want to thank you so much. And
the vehicles that are manufactured for use in Japan either have small or no water tanks at all. This makes Uganda unique in a sense that fire trucks for this market need to have big water tanks in order to sustain individual firefighting operations. The fire trucks that were donated before did not have water tanks, and it is out of feedback engagements with the officers responsible that going forward we have received a promise from your people that you are going to donate water tankers to ensure the previous.
Mukono General Hospital, Mount Lebanon Church Mukono, under the leadership of Bishop Dr. Samuel Luandasa, has donated more than 50 hospital mattresses to Mukono General Hospital. The contribution was made possible with support from partners in India, led by Bishop Zion of the Overseas Apostolic Ministry Assemblies and Reverend Bob. Such a good cause, and of course the donation is part of an ongoing initiative by Mount Lebanon Church of Mukono. Now, as we move ahead, the Teso Cultural Union has launched an ambitious fundraising campaign aimed at uplifting education across the Teso sub-region. A More Education Fund, a visionary program, is designed to tackle youth unemployment and school dropouts by establishing vocational training centers.
Actually, we expect each
we developed a 10-year strategic plan to invest strategically in education. We want our children to focus on those strategic courses, which our brother the pilot said here. We want courses which are going to turn around the lives of people in Teso and Uganda as a whole. In these 10 years, we want our children to go in for courses which will become competitive in the market. This is the reason why we have declared total war against school dropouts. This fund is going to address early teenage marriages, early pregnancies, the works. We need to take them back and be skilled in order to get something to do, to add on the community.
Education is critical for the development of this country. To achieve the vision of the president to transform this country into a middle-class society, we need to make sure that our population, especially young people, are well educated, skilled to be able to handle what it needs to transform the country. So I think it's very important. It's one of the vital tools we need to embrace and invest in to be able to see that transformation.
Now, National Water and Sewerage Corporation has engaged Kira municipality residents on the current water supply interventions in the municipality. The engagement aimed at gathering feedback, promoting accountability and highlighting the ongoing water supply in the municipality.
We built a baraza, which is an interactive forum between customers, stakeholders, and national water management at different levels. We have received a number of issues, we have received a number of observations, ideas, and we pledge to put them in place to continue to improve the services that we deliver to public.
One of the issues the leaders of Kira raised is they appreciate and all appreciate the rate at which Kira and basically Kampala is expanding, and they need to make sure that we don't just focus on water, but also we take care of the sewage part of it. And as a corporation, we have a very clear strategy on how we try to make sure that we enhance and also improve on our sewage coverage and also intervention. Right now, we invested a lot and seeing more investment to make sure that whatever is generated, whatever waste is generated, mainly on site, we have the capacity to treat it. We will enhance our partnership with the private sector as far as transportation of this waste is concerned. One of the areas which has always been a perception has been this perception that water is expensive, and we're able to discuss with them and explain. One, the government has to make sure that our tariff facilitates production and industries. So we have an industrial tariff that's supposed to make sure that our industries are competitive. So a 20-litre jerrycan for industry goes for only 59 shillings. So when you look at the prices that we charge our customers, generally water is affordable.
Big thing about the MTN Super. Wali yakapia musite wali yakapia. Wali yakapia. MTN kabo the Super mustayi rompia. Vibe pia. Then you kabo the smartphone nebi yakabibiona. Wali yakapia. MTN kabo the Super mustayi rompia. Then you can buy the smartphone nebi yakabibiona.
Get the new Kabode Super smartphone and enjoy 16 GB free. Start with a deposit of only 45,000 Uganda shillings and pay the rest mpora in daily installments of less than 1K. You can also make weekly and monthly installments. Together, our vibes are unstoppable. Terms and conditions apply.
MTN.
MTN is regulated by Uganda Communications Commission.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning. Eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Agriculture is Uganda's economic backbone, employing about 70% of the working population and contributing 20% of the GDP. As the world becomes a digital global village, ICT has proven to increase productivity in the agricultural value chain. UKUSAF, through its Strategic Plan 3, recognizes the importance of access and usage of ICT-based tools, information and knowledge for farmers by providing them the needed skills to live, learn, work and participate in a digital society.
We came up with a project which we took to UKSAF, and we are happy that UKSAF supported it.
That project is called ICT for Farmers. What did we get from ICT for Farmers? We managed to skill up to 100,000 farmers.
Welcome back, and into the world of business. The Uganda Cooperative Savings and Credit Union, Okusku, has elected Kano Alan Akitandwa as its new chairperson, replacing Bintu Jalia, during an annual general meeting that also celebrated the union's 50th anniversary.
Outgoing chair Bintu Jalia was praised for safeguarding assets, reducing liabilities, and establishing the SACCOS Academy, which trains cooperative leaders nationwide.
So this academy has got a what I would call a guest house, which was co-funded by us, the Okusku and the DSIK, where they gave us a grant, especially in having this guest house, to cater for those members who come from far, who may need to board and to stay around near the union headquarters. During my tenure, we've introduced different policies ranging from the risk management policy, human resource policy, capitalization policy. We have had the ICT policy developed and many other policies. So I want to believe that the new board will continue from where we have stopped.
State Minister for Cooperatives, Fred Gume, commended her stewardship and urged the new leadership to protect the union's legacy while embracing reforms.
That they would like me to request to the President and government, since they had been given a waiver on taxes for the cooperatives, it's about to end next year. They would like the President to allow them more 5 years, such that they get to their feet and start being in position to pay taxes. I've also challenged them that the person who gave you a waiver is for elections. And you know, if you did wisely the real thing, he will still give this waiver.
She pledged to push for harmonized cooperative laws, streamlined supervision, and an extension of tax waivers to help SACCOs grow stronger.
We introduced a pre-conference AGM, where we usually invite technical people, well-versed people, professional people, who come and make presentations on key issues affecting the sector. Like yesterday, we had key presentations on regulatory environment, on taxation, on how to manage the SACCOs, on product identity.
Incoming Chair Kano Alan Tom Chitandwa promised to strengthen member-focused services, promote innovation, and ensure SACCOs drive economic transformation at the grassroots.
So the cooperatives rely mainly on the members. And that's why we as leaders we also need now to look at the member. I've just been explaining to somebody there that the World Council of Cooperatives values so much the member. The onion system, that the member is very central. So whichever aspect that we look at, we are looking at the member.
With membership now exceeding 14 million, Okusku remains a cornerstone of financial inclusion and community development across Uganda. Sudat Kaye and Robert Whiter, UBC News.
That's all we had time for. Thank you once again for choosing us and hanging out with us. My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango. It's a good night from us, but UBC TV continues.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
further